everything you did for us, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you. It's I love how Dave, how you said, like when you go at the end, it's like, well, you got to change your complete script. And I am going to change my script because we could talk about a lot of things we do here at TransFinder. We're a local company, and we're here in Schenectady. I think many of you already know us, but I really want to talk about the safety aspect. Definitely, I could talk about how many of our clients we have. This morning, 1 out of 3 students got on a school bus safe using our software. And we want to make sure they get back home safe using our software too. So 1 out of 3, obviously, you guys, many of you know me. 1 out of 3 is good. 1 out of 2 is even better. So we're working it, of course. I had a whole agenda, right? Talk about different things about our product, our routing, parent acts, drivers. But really, I want to talk about right to the stops. You know, we talk about technology, finding school bus passing, right? All these things. There's a camera, catch these bad people, huge fines. I'm all for that. But what else can we do? And so we talk about our software. Our software could be very easily, you can identify certain streets that you can never put a bus stop that creates an opportunity that a kid has to cross the street. Right? Those are the big thing. It's really what happens for crossing. Hey, let's catch them. But could we prevent some stuff on the development side, on the planning side? So you were at the street level, it could say, you cannot cross this street. So when you're creating these bus stops using our system, you could identify stops that this road will not allow crossers. So it's the set it and forget it. You set it and forget it, and you will never be able to do that. You can put a stop there, but it will never assign students that will cross the street. And what's crossing the street? Clearly, it depends on which way the bus travels, right? It's the approach point. A lot of things in there. I don't want to be technical, but some of you that have routing system, whether it's ours or someone else, you guys understand that. So I want to make sure we talk about those things. Set those roads that for sure, 100%, we don't want any crosses at. You can also do it at the stop level. At the stop level, I mean, I'm going to put the stop, and I don't want any students to ever cross here. But in addition, you could also identify if it's going to be near a corner, where to stop, where the bus should be. Again, drivers, most of the time, follow your route sheets. Most of the time, right? Someone, right? But if you don't give them a route sheet, they'll do what they think is best. We truly believe at least a route sheet. Of course, now there's tablets, there's so much going on here. But if you have the driver have this information in front of them, right? Have that who could cross, who should not cross. Remember, if you have areas that are notoriously places where buses gets crossed, try to avoid those places. Try to avoid putting a stop there, which means you might have to put more door-to-door there. I get it. Hey, I'm all for giving big tickets, but if we could also try both. It's illegal to pass the school bus. We get it. But could we also do something on the software to prevent it ever happening, a way that kid has to cross the street? I've seen some videos that, cars pass on the right hand, really on the sidewalks. You've seen those. Those are horrible. And clearly we want you to see it in our software in a way to track it. If you know that there's history, let's put it on a map. That way, when we are designing these routes, you will remember the stuff. And by the way, it's too many things for us to remember. We will see as the map is your whiteboard. I've been to many of your offices. Your whiteboard's got so many different things. Well, think of our map as your whiteboard. All those incidents, map them, put it there. That way, when another router comes in, and people move around, they don't go and put a stop where you've been saying for years, we're not putting a stop there. So I want to make sure that we want to show you that there's other ways to make sure you build safe routes. And of course, like I said, map it out. Put as much as you want on this whiteboard. You got to think of our map as your whiteboard. Put all that information. That, yes, there's a lot of AI that we're building, but it starts with you putting that information. If you know these areas are unsafe, there's a lot of bus passing, well, identify them. Let the driver know, hey, I'm going to put you on this road. Keep your eyes extra open this time. Right? What do you guys think? I know many of you do this already, but I want you to think above and beyond that, saying that it should be part of what you guys do as routers and as an operation, right? And these type of things that when you start looking at roads and I don't know if you guys use Waze or other type of products, it tells you there's traffic going on and it tries its best to drive around. Well, a lot of times you can't drive around it. The kid lives on that road. But having the historical information to say, this street is dangerous. Can we tag it in a way? If there's no kids there, let's never let our routing system route down there. And so a lot of people, we've been saying this for years, but now that many of you are investing in tablets, that way, for the drivers, and they're awesome. Let me give you one snafu. What happens if the driver has to take a turn? And by the way, I don't know about you, but every time I use one of those products, whether it's Google Maps or Waze, I don't always follow its direction. I take the next turn. Well, what does it do? It reroutes for you, right? Well, in our software, when it's rerouting, we don't want all that information that you educated, that you give it all that information on the maps. We don't want the rerouting on the tablets to say, whatever, I'm going to go there anyway because it's faster or shorter. No, all that logic that you've built in, really, you baked into the mapping for routing, we want the exact same map. All that logic, you spend all that time in the tablet. So really, again, I'd go on the tablets and all that technology, but that is the key. Because you could build some beautiful routes, but if the drivers don't know the details, we could put ourselves in a massive, dangerous position. And that's the value of the tablets. It's the value of a detailed route sheets. Yes, sometimes a clipboard, it's going to work, right? I've always wondered, you want to be distracted, you're a driver, you have a clipboard, and maybe you're using a wheel with your knees, right? I know I'm being sarcastic, but we got to be careful. What you do in your office may not match what's going on out there in the world. So how do you prevent that? And there's a lot of things we can do. Of course, we analyze data. We put GPS. I mean, there's tons of technology. Yes, so many of you already have GPS in your bus. So let's see that. If you said, let's stop there, and the driver doesn't stop there, well, then you got to take care of that. You got to take care of that. And maybe the driver doesn't know that. But these are the things that I want you to be aware of. I know many of you, that's what keeps us up at night. Our drivers doing exactly what we said we wanted to do. Yes, I'm disappointed what's going on in society. They don't want to get to work or whatever, and they're ignoring the red flashing lights. Very disappointed. Hopefully we're going to slow that down, give them massive tickets. That way we could have, put that money back into this industry, into the towns. But I also want to make sure, can we also prevent some of those things? So I want you to think that again, we could talk about so many different things we have here at the company. As I mentioned, the tablets. Tablets are huge. You could see which kid's supposed to get on a bus. How many times your driver picks up a kid that really was not supposed to be there. And a few years ago, this was not an issue. We have so many substitute drivers. They don't know that little Tony's supposed to get onto this, or they don't know if little Tony's supposed to cross or not. How do they know that? So this is the information that we think it's the future. And some of you are making this investment. It's a lot of money. It is. And as technology rolls out, sometimes pricing gets better. But these are the type of things that many of you are investing. Again, whether you have our product or other companies, I want to encourage you to get these type of things. See if it makes sense for you. That way you can see that a substitute driver knows there's special comments to stop. There's no crossing here, man. So do something. Don't let kids cross. How many times as little kids, you see the bus, you missed the stop, maybe you run a little late, you go someplace else. It was okay in the past. But it's not okay anymore. We can't let that happen. And how do we make sure that information is there with the drivers? You have to have it so that way they can see it. And not fumbling through a piece of paper. Yes, we want the bolding, the flashing lights, and these tablets. That way it tells the driver, you gotta be careful. You've never driven this tripping ever before, but we don't want that to be the dangerous part. We want them to feel like they've driven it for years. Does that make sense to you guys? Any comments? Any guys are doing this already with whatever product? Anybody wants to say something? Is it too early? Guys, I have enough coffee? What can I get? Randy, you're in front of me, so I have to say, I mean, I'm sure you guys are routing. Do you guys consider these things when you're plotting stops? Right? So again, I don't mean to pick, it's just right in front of me. And so those are things that you are considering. And as incidents happen, you're gonna be adding those incidents on a map. That way, maybe you have it here, Randy, you've been in Mahonesa for many years. But as other people take over or other routers, they don't remember all those things. And so I want to encourage that, right? And I don't mean to pick on Randy. It's like, oh, why is he pick on me? But again, we want to have as much information possible for the district, for the drivers, and really for the parents. These are all exciting things, right? As parents could actually get notified how far, when's a bus. And really, there's nothing wrong to say, hey, parent, we had to have your kid cross the street. It's possible, you know, there's no other way, but I had the kid cross the street. So maybe you want to let the parent know, we need your help on this one right here. Little Tony is 10 years old. Maybe you just need to extra careful with this kid. It's all information. Why not share that with parents? We should not be embarrassed on that. We ask parents to be involved in the schools. Why not ask them to be involved at the bus stop too? I know some of you are saying, hey, I can even get them to fill out a slip, right? But these are all things that I want you to consider, right? I'm not telling you anything you don't know already. And I hope there is one thing that you learned today, because I always want one thing that you could walk away and there's an aha moment. There's a great takeaway. But for forms, why not let the community and really let the drivers report these incidents? Because as I'm driving, I can't just remember all those places and when I come back and tell you, hey, I found these issues. Well, maybe there's an opportunity while they're driving, they could just tap really quick and now information comes to you guys. That's how you build this knowledge base. So perhaps you have an interface, a form that you could just fill out and say, there's some passing here, or maybe you put the stop here. I don't like the way you put the stop here. I hope you include your drivers as part of your feedback, because they're your eyes and ears. They're out there. We can build some beautiful routes using our system, but the drivers are really going to be the litmus test. You want to hear from them. Well, you don't want to hear from them when they think it's time. Give them an interface, a real fast way they could just tap while they're driving. In different type, just like you can in ways to say there's an accident or something going on. Now there's police on the road, right? That's not I think they're all gone here at this point, right? But those are the things that you could report, and it's source from the crowd, but we want drivers to really collaborate with you. And we've created that type of technology. But again, I didn't want to take too long. I do want to encourage everybody to go online and for your school district, we want you to enroll your school district and be part of this top transportation teams that we've been pushing the past 2 years. Last year, we picked 6 school districts. And by the way, not all of them were our clients. We brought them to Reno, Nevada for the STN conference, and it was a massive show. We will do it again this year, but in order for you to win that opportunity, you need to participate. You should have gotten tons of emails. And I want to let you know, one of the things that you have to do is upload your employees' emails because they're going to vote. They're going to have a survey. And by the way, you're thinking, I don't want to hear from my drivers and my staff. You know, I'm gonna tell you personally, at TransFinder, we do these things all the time. And we've won many best places to work, top teams, and all those things. But we didn't always win. Actually, we lost more than we won. But we took that information. And by the way, this is all free. We're offering to everyone in North America. I took that information and really met with the executive team, like, hey, how do we get better here? Look at the score here. Are there some low-hanging fruits that you could do to change morale in your operation? Things like that. Yeah, there's gonna be some people saying, I wish I got paid more. Of course. But there's maybe some other things. You know, my ideas don't count here. There's always gonna be those one-offs. But if 50% of people say that, well, they gotta consider what's going on here. Again, it's all about safe stops and all that, but I want you to know that the team is all about this. If you don't have the right team on your side, it's all gonna fall apart. So I want to encourage you, participate. We will offer you the results whether you win or not. And so there's some value. I think there's about 50 some questions in our surveys that your employees are going to be anonymous. You're not going to know what they said, but we'll give you a summary of what the group said. So I want to encourage you to do this. We think it's important. Obviously, you know, TransFund has been doing these type of surveys for years. And like I said, we've lost more than we won. But I've taken that information. And now every time we apply, we have a good shot. It's never a gimme. Life is never a gimme, but we also know what's the good, the bad, and the ugly that people are saying about us. And I encourage you to do the same thing. Many of you are leaders in your district, so do it. It's all right. And I take any questions? Pour some coffee, what can I do? Scones? That was a good scone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
And congratulations for making your way into Guilderland.
Yes.
So Tony actually lives in Guilderland, and Craig Lips, the new director of Guilderland, is switching over the routing system to TransFinder. So congratulations. So
That was unplanned.
So hey, I put plugs out all over the place. So I just want to also remind everybody, next month's meeting in May, we're going to be here. June, we are looking at doing the cruise again for our year-end celebration. Tyler Tech has sponsored that. Have we looked at a date yet? We were picking I want to say the last week of June. We're looking at a day that week. So Thursday and Friday, because I think most of us are done on the 26th. So more to come on that. Keep your eye out on the email for that. So May 16th is our next meeting here. And then our meeting in June will be the celebration on the cruise. So thank you all for coming today. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Okay. We will take any help we can get putting chairs and tables away if anybody wants to stay.